my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book-related things, and today I am talking about the Clear Your Shit Readathon. Now, this will be moving into year 5. I have announcement videos for all of the previous years, and a lot of them include voiced, like, silly little acting, and that was fun and cute. However, everyone is very busy these days, so I'm sorry, narrator and Ariadne were not able to make it for this announcement video. However, we are now in what I am calling either Act 2 or Book 2. The website will say Book 2. Book 1 will have been years 1 through 4, and the mini readathons that are attached to that. I think separating the stories, the plot lines as these separate things makes it a little bit easier for me to navigate a new story, a new planet, etc. As the person who writes all of these things, it's important for me to be able to do this. With that being said, if you don't know, you all managed to save Shelfla last year, and Ariadne decided that she wanted to travel and find other planets and maybe try and find basically a new home. She'd only known Shelfla, whereas narrator has known quite a few different worlds, not just planets but universes, and she wanted to explore new things. Star traveled with everyone as we all got on Ariadne's little spaceship and traveled the stars to try and find somewhere new. Star was our narrator for the mini readathon during the summer, and that was a lot of fun. It was fun to voice a new character and then also to imagine how narrator might feel about the whole ordeal. Narrator just keeps getting harassed by sunshine characters, which is very fun for me to play. With that being said, they did finally land on a new planet in which it was a very take me to your leader style, and they landed on a planet where all of the readers are cursed. They are able to buy books. They are in fact obsessed with buying books, but they cannot read them. And there is something to that that is upsetting, obviously. We wouldn't know anything about that, right? Buying a bunch of books and not reading them? That's crazy. Yeah. If you don't know, the Readathon is essentially a conversation about reading things that you already own or clearing out a TBR that already exists. So some of these prompts might be a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Also, if you don't know, the general formatting of the Readathon is that I have character creation cards, so you'll pick a strength, a weakness, and a weapon. You will not know what prompts tie into those things until the week of those prompts. Now, I will say that I will generally, on the Patreon for the $10 tier people, I will generally go ahead and reveal the prompts early. I'll also reveal the surprise prompts early, etc. Because if you can't handle surprises, then I think you should get to pay $10 a month to get those prompts. So anybody that signs up for that is very helpful for me and for the Readathon. It always just goes back into the Readathon, so thank you. It basically pays for the website. With that being said, I do want to go ahead and give you those strengths and weaknesses and weapons for you to choose from. The weapons, I'm going to actually start with the weapons this time. It was a lot of fun because I actually asked a bunch of people. I asked on different platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and the Discord, and was like, hey, which of these, like, what weapons do you have as an idea? Because I am out of ideas. I'm officially out of ideas. It has been 5 years of running this readathon and I'm officially out of ideas. And so you guys had some really good ideas. And I want to go over those first. First up, we have a tooth pick. Fooled you. You thought I was going to say a tooth. You thought I was going to be like, teeth gang back. No. They're never coming back. Let it go. Let it go. Toothpick. Right. Very useful weapon. Then we have a thesaurus, which is just funny. We have a cast iron skillet and also a slingshot. Only 2 of these are probably useful as weapons, but those are our weapon picks for the readathon. Not telling you what those prompts are. Those are just weapons. You can pick them as you want. Another thing I want to add on before I go into the strengths and weaknesses, if none of these apply to you, there will be a prompt for people that the strengths and weaknesses didn't apply to. transparently, that prompt is generally pick a book at random. Close your eyes and pick a book off of your bookshelf. The reason that I do that like that is because I know that that is a problem where people don't always apply to all of the strengths or weaknesses, or they want to make up their own or whatever, and the very first year people were like, I didn't like this, so I picked my own. Cool. I didn't have a prompt for them. Now I have a prompt. It's generally pick whatever at random. So I do consider those of you that things don't apply to, but I also can't make vague implications for everyone, right? It's a little bit hard for me to think of literally everyone in the world and their strengths and weaknesses as one individual. Sorry, I am who I am. Anyway, for the weaknesses, we have Special Edition Simp, which is always buys special editions. We have Spatial Blindness, which owns more books than shelf space. We have Kindle Kryptonite, which means participates in stuff your Kindle, even though your TBR is already quite long. And then we have Victim of the Remember, recommends books but can't ever remember why you liked them. Then for strengths, we have TBR Challenger, has less than 10 unread owned books. Temptation Master, refrained from buying a book for this specific readathon. For me, when I was writing this, I meant like you saw the prompts and bought a book for the prompts, not like you bought a book and then thought, oh, I'll save this for Clear Your Shit. That's not what I'm talking about, although I think that could also apply. Anyway, we have Serial Series Killer, always finishes series, not me. And then Anti-Budget Budger, sticks to a book budget. That is the closest. I'm either going to be TBR Challenger or Anti-Budget Budger. I haven't decided yet. Or Temptation Master. Technically, all of them except for the series one would apply to me. Not to flex, but my own readathon made me stop buying books. Anyway, those are going to be your strengths, your weaknesses, and your weapons. It is totally up to you which one you want to pick. Like I said, I will have an option if none of those are applicable to you, but that is totally up to you. So those are the strengths, weapons, and weaknesses. I am now going to go into the rest of the prompts. If I personally feel like it needs a bigger explanation, I will give one, because I know that sometimes people want a better, it's too vague or it feels too specific and they're overthinking it. Don't worry, I got you. So let's get into the prompts. First up, we have read a book where there is a bad guy or villain of some kind. Pretty straightforward, I feel like. It doesn't even have to be like cartoonishly villainy. It can be just like the antagonist, is that the word I'm looking for? Do they do bad things? Then they are the bad guy in the book. This is intentionally vague so that you guys can start off really easy. We're easing in. Next up, we have read a book you purchased urgently or have been highly anticipating, for those of us who haven't bought books and are using library books for this. Read a book that either is old, feels old, or is set in an older time. Read a book where one goes on a quest or goes to a different world. Read a book where the font on the cover is aesthetically pleasing to you. And then we have a free space. Don't forget, we do have free spaces where you can either pick a book to read for that, any book, whatever book you want, or pick no book and take that time to just rest. It is completely up to you. Then we'll have our weakness mini boss fight with surprise prompts. Then read a book that was gifted, purchased secondhand, or borrowed. And that does include like library book borrowing, not just like borrowing from a friend. Read your smallest book, pages, audiobook length, physical size, doesn't matter. Any of those apply as small. Any of that applies. Read a book with a long book title, subjective. Whatever you think is a long book title. Read a book outside of your normal genre picks. This one I feel like is going to get some people. So for example, I don't generally read 3 genres: contemporary, historical, or romance. I just don't really read them. Contemporary and historical especially. For this prompt, I would pick a book that falls into one of those 3 genres. Any genre that you think you read the least of, that's what I would pick for this. Read a book that is set in the future or an obscure time, so like you don't know what timeline this is set in. I think that is loose enough that like it's not set to just sci-fi books, right? And then we have our side quest, which this year is going to be Middle Game by Shauna McGuire. There is an alchemist character in this story this year, and so I was trying to pick side quests, and my friends Lexi and Landis, who I've talked about frequently, we had offhand mentioned Middle Game, and I was like, I don't know, yeah, it's my favorite book, but like I don't know, like, is it like side questy? Like last time we picked kind of like a series where people could pick a bunch of different things, like we usually have more than one option, whatever. And then I don't know, I thought about it for a while and I was like, no. This year, because this is the first year that I will not be dealing with anything extremely stressful after having dealt with stressful things literally every single year that I have run this, I was really excited to get to pick my favorite book as the side quest. I'm like, I will happily reread my all-time favorite book, and my husband will be home, and so he will also get to reread our favorite book. We both love this book, so yeah. Next, we have read a book that you almost didn't get but decided to get anyway, against your better judgment probably, right? You're like, I don't know, maybe I won't read this, and then you got it anyway. Read that. Read a book that has a monarchy of some kind, even referenced. Just any kind of monarchy at any point. Even if they're just like, she's the queen of the class. That's references to a monarchy, and that counts. Read a book with a red or brown cover. Read a book that was purchased locally, or a book that mentioned shopping. I wanted this to be kind of loose because I know that not everybody is able to leave their homes for various reasons. Not everybody can purchase locally. Not everybody has local bookstores. So that's why I was like, or it mentioned shopping. I wanted it to be open to that. Then we have another free space, because of course. Then we have our strengths boss battle. And then read a book outside of your normal intended audience picks. So if you are someone who predominantly reads adult books, read a young adult book. You are somebody who reads young adult books, read a middle grade book, etc. So children's, middle grade, young adult, new adult, and adult are what I'm thinking of when I'm talking about intended audience age picks. I know that I have a couple of kids that do participate in the readathon. Specifically, my niece participated last year, and I don't know what age group she reads in, so I do want to say that if you are including your kids in this readathon, that's crazy and I love that, but if you are including your kids in this readathon, I would like get more specific. So like I know that the young adult books sometimes are aged like 13 to 15, 16 to 18, whatever, then I would read either down or up in that, and same for children's, down or up in that. Get like more hyper specific in the intended audience age groups, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's weird to talk about if you have kids participating in my readathon, here's some advice, but I know that people do, so that would be my advice. Read a book that has a character you think or know you'll be obsessed with. So if someone else has like recommended the book and was like, I think you'll be obsessed with this character. I actually just did this with my mom. For me, I'm obsessed with October Day and Tybalt. So which it wouldn't happen this year, but if Shannon had released another October Day book, I would read an October Day book for that sort of thing. Because I know I'm obsessed with that character. Read a book with a character that you want to fight personally. I've had that before in previous readathons, and that prompt just makes me laugh. Read a book with a mother-like character, so they either can be a mother or be mother-like, because I don't care. Whatever floats your boat. Read a book that finishes or starts a series. Have someone pick a book for you to read. Either you can give them a pick between 2 and 3 books and be like, pick one, or you can have them look at your bookshelf and say, pick one, or your big TBR and say, here, pick one, etc. They have endless ways of interpreting that. Then you have another free space, and your boss battle for the weapons is next with the surprise prompts. So that is your readathon for 2024. It is year 5. That is crazy. It is crazy that we've been running this for 5 years. Thank you to everyone who participates. It's wild that this just kind of came out of when I had first started BookTube and had purchased a ton of books and was overwhelmed by, not just purchase, but like I had a ton of, like not just physical books, but like I had a ton of audiobooks and ebooks, etc. And I was overwhelmed by how many book options I had. And I felt like I was constantly being told, no, you need to read this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and you need to buy all of these books and do all of these things. and I was, like I said, extremely overwhelmed. So this is what the readathon came out of, and it really did rewire the way that I think about getting books. Like, anything that I have physically purchased or digitally purchased is at the top of my list for my reading now. Like, I try to get to those first because of my own readathon. So I think that's fun. I think it's a fun way to like challenge yourself to read as much as possible. Some things, some rules, some disclaimers. A lot of people ask if they can combine prompts, and they can. They also ask if they can skip prompts. Yes, there are no real rules here. Nobody's grading you. You can do whatever you want, bestie. Just don't ask me if a book counts. That's really, please don't, for the love of God. If the camera position moved, it's because my camera died, which I guess is my cue to close this video out. If you are participating in the readathon, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you have questions, I will happily answer them. The Discord is also a really great place, a really great resource. I have links to everything down below. The website should have been revamped by the time this video goes out, and yeah, you can find everything on the website, on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, Patreon. Not everything's on Patreon, but like the surprises are on Patreon. So you can go check that out as well. But all the links will be down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If you didn't enjoy this video, I only make them twice a year, so it's cool. Cool. I think that's it. So I post videos. If you want to watch me outside of Clear Your Shit shenanigans, I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, except for the first full week of the month. So yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks, bye.